On a cold November morning, police were called to a quiet apartment building that rarely saw trouble. Nothing about the place suggested what waited inside. Apartment 304 had been unusually silent for days. Neighbors noticed the absence before they noticed anything was wrong. When officers finally entered the apartment, the silence became something else entirely. Heavy. Permanent. Emily Carter was 29 years old. She was found lying on the living room floor, with no sign of a struggle anywhere around her. There were no broken windows, no forced entry. It looked like Emily had opened the door herself. Friends described Emily as friendly and reliable, a nurse who worked long shifts and came straight home afterward. She had lived in the building for 2 years. Her routine was predictable, almost comforting to those who knew her. Nothing about Emily's life suggested danger. That's what made the next discovery so unsettling. Her phone was gone. Her laptop, too. The most personal parts of her life had vanished. Then, police checked the hallway camera. It had been disabled the night before Emily died. This wasn't random. Someone had planned their movements carefully. Investigators rebuilt Emily's final day minute by minute. Every detail suddenly mattered. Co-workers said she left the hospital around 7:10 p.m. Cameras later showed her arriving home at 7:42. After that, there was nothing. No visitors, no movement, just a long, empty gap. Until the next morning, when a neighbor noticed her door slightly open and made the call. One detail refused to fade into the background. A message sent at 9:03 p.m. It was to her sister. Just 2 words. He knows. Detectives turned to Emily's digital history, searching for answers she never got to explain. One name appeared again and again in her searches: Daniel Mercer. A deeper check revealed a connection to a suspicious death 6 years earlier. And suddenly, Emily's fear made sense. At first, the name meant nothing to investigators. Daniel Mercer sounded ordinary, forgettable, almost harmless. Then the background check came back. 6 years earlier, his name surfaced in a death that was never solved. The old case ended quietly. No charges, no answers, just questions buried by time. With enough cause, detectives moved fast. A search warrant was signed. Mercer's apartment was next. Inside, everything looked normal. Too normal. Until they opened a locked drawer. Inside were photographs. Dozens of them. Emily, unaware, living her life. Outside her hospital, near her building, even between grocery shelves. She had been watched for weeks, maybe months. Confronted with the evidence, Daniel Mercer stopped denying. He agreed to talk. He said it started at the hospital. One glance, an obsession that quietly grew. He followed her routine, learned her schedule, and waited for a chance to speak. But when he approached her, Emily recognized him, not as a stranger, as a name she had researched. She knew about the death 6 years earlier, and when Daniel realized that, everything changed. On the final night, he followed her home again. This time, she confronted him in the hallway. They argued. Emily threatened to report him. That's when he forced his way inside. Minutes later, Emily sent a message to her sister. 2 words. He knows. That message connected everything. Emily Carter's murder and the death 6 years before. 2 crimes finally solved because she